What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Seeds and Stix podcast, brought to you by no other than Ryan Rendering and myself, Rob Rundle. We've been out for about 2 weeks. Life's just been busy, and baseball was kind of slowing down there, but now it's about to pick back up because opening day is less than a week away. Ryan, how excited are you?
Extremely excited. Right around the corner this Thursday, everybody's back in action. We got a little glimpse of it with that Oakland and Seattle series in Japan, but I'm ready for everybody to pick it up and just baseball all day, every day.
Yep, me too. And let's go ahead and talk about that series real quick. I'm going to try to be unbiased as humanly possible here. But I first want to say congratulations to Ichiro on a tremendous career. What a way to go out, man. I mean, having your last game ever in Japan where you started out. He has the most career hits out of anybody if you combine his Japan career with his Major League career. I mean, what do you think about that?
That's true. Awesome career to Ichiro. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. One of the best that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Just hit the ball. I loved watching his approach coming up to the plate and then hitting it all over the field. Just swinging and running down that line. He was always fun to watch. Great career.
Dude, what I thought was really cool, though, was like when he came off the field, obviously everyone was cheering.
Oh, yeah.
But Yusei Kikuchi, the new rookie for the Mariners, he was bawling his eyes out. Bawling his eyes out. Because think about it. Imagine just having your Major League debut the same day as the player you idolize growing up retires. And, like, you get to be there witnessing all of it.
Yeah, I mean, they all the Japanese folks all look up to him. Like, he's their, like, Lord and Savior for real. They all worship him. I mean, that's a pretty cool way to go out, honestly.
Honestly, and he was the first player from Japan to really set the tone and allow players to come from Japan to perform. I mean, you got Kosuke Fukudome, Shohei Ohtani, just to name a few, obviously, and then Yusei Kikuchi, and I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting. Yu Darvish.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Kikuchi will definitely never forget that the rest of his life.
Yep.
His opening game, same as Ichiro's last game, that's awesome.
And honestly, speaking about that, the dude shoved on the mound, by the way.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
He's going to be good.
He absolutely shoved. And for him to do that, especially with how the balls were flying out the day before, I mean, I think the day before
everybody
it was a total
hitting a home run.
Yeah, it was like a total of at least 5 or 6 home runs. It looked like Coors Field.
Seriously.
And it's crazy because it was inside. It was a dome.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Balls were flying over the ballpark. How many did the A's hit? They hit at least 3, didn't they?
I know Piscotty had the first home run of the year.
Had to
obviously.
Have hit one. No doubt he hits one.
That's 3 years in a row he's had one. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
And then Piscotty and...
It was Piscotty, Davis. I know for...
Chapman, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Chapman.
Yeah. And then, who was it for the Mariners? It was somebody who just recently signed.
Oh.
That's going to bother me. Can you pull up the box score real quick?
Yeah.
I think it was, it was Danny Santana or Domingo Santana.
That's who it was.
He hit the grand slam that solidified that victory for them. That was killer.
Yeah, they had Santana and, Tim Beckham.
Dude,
was the other
he
one.
had a heck of an opening series.
Yes, he did.
Oh, my gosh. I think he went 4 for 4 that first game.
He was 3 for 3 with a walk.
Okay. So, yeah, he had 4 plate appearances.
2 ribbies.
And then the second game, I think he got like 2 hits or something, I think.
Tim Beckham went 2 for 4 with a walk.
And that's his first game as a Mariner.
Talk about an opening way to start your series.
Yeah, that's crazy because the Mariners traded Gene Segura to Philly for J.P. Crawford. But, I mean, he's definitely not going to see that much playing time if Tim Beckham just, shoves like that.
No, it does that, yeah. That's shocking. So what do you think about... I won't ask you the A's, obviously, because you're biased. But what about the Mariners? I did not think they were going to be that good this year.
No, they didn't. They surprised me. And Jay Bruce actually pieced up a couple good balls, even though they didn't leave the yard. He hit them hard. Like, dude,
Bruce
that team...
can do that. Him and Encarnacion back-to-back, because I thought they were going to trade Encarnacion. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, well, they might have a decent middle of the order, actually.
Honestly, yeah. And Mitch Haniger's...
nice.
He is really nice. I don't know...
I don't know about that rotation,
me, though.
Potentially. That's what's going to...
Yeah, I mean, we only saw 2 of their pitchers.
Right, Kikuchi.
And Marco Gonzalez.
And then Felix Hernandez is slowly declining.
Yeah, and Mike Leake, I don't know.
Right. He's consistent. He'll get a lot of innings.
He doesn't walk a lot of people.
Right.
But yeah, he'll get a lot of innings.
He's not like the ace, but he's a solid like 3-4
Yeah.
type guy who's going to get a lot of innings for you.
Yeah. But I think the Mariners actually surprised, a few people. I mean, I didn't think they were going to come out there and win 2 games. I really didn't.
No, I was expecting a split, but that's usually how the 2 games go.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Now, for the Athletics, unbiased opinion, I think their pitching definitely needs some work. That's for sure. If they're going to want to compete in that tough division. Because, I mean, you got the Angels, too, who you just don't know.
They
With
can
Brad
break
Osmond's
out,
first
right.
year as manager.
And with the best player in baseball, you never want to count him
Yeah,
out.
and we'll talk about him a little bit later. And a couple more players from the Astros a little bit later, too.
The Astros. But no, I would agree. I think Oakland needs a little help starting pitching-wise still. But they will be like middle of the pack to upper if they play as well as they did last year. Because, I mean, the Rangers are going to be awful. Mariners, I don't still expect them to be great, but they did show a little bit more. Then the Angels, like you said, with the best player in baseball, you never really... They might do better than we expect, but show he's still hurt a little bit. And then, obviously, you got the Astros who have to be the favorite.
Yeah, and Marco Estrada was one of the big signings for the Athletics in the offseason, and he just did not do well at all.
Right.
He didn't do well at all.
I think he'll pick it up, though. He's been decently consistent over his last few years.
I hope so. And we'll talk a little bit more about some players from the Athletics and Mariners later in the podcast. But let's go ahead and move on. There have been some contracts now, since Bryce Harper signed. A couple more players have finally, started to get their money. But this one's a little shocking to me. Eloy Jimenez for the White Sox hasn't even seen a game.
Not one inning yet in Major League
6
Baseball.
years, $43 million. This guy must be living on cloud 9.
Do you like it or no?
I don't like it because it just makes me mad about the whole Kyler Murray situation all over again. You're giving a guy who hasn't seen Major League action this much money. I mean, it could be a high risk, high reward. But in this instance, with the White Sox, I just think that was a stupid signing because you could have taken that $43 million and signed Keuchel for 2 years or something.
Yeah, I see that point. I actually am going to disagree. I actually love the signing
Why?
altogether because I think this dude, he's been so hyped up, and I think he's just going to break out, and why not sign him before he gets to that stage where he's going to want absolute, over $100 million easy? Why not? I mean, the 6 years, $43 million, that's really, you're not, with the production that he could bring, that's really not that much, and you're signing for 6 years. That's the reason why I love the deal. But at the same time, I totally understand your point. Like, he hasn't played an inning, and then he could easily not pan out. But sometimes you just got to take those risks, though, and I actually do like that just because, he's been such a highly touted prospect for as long as I can remember, and, I've seen a swing. He looks like he's going to be able to hit in the majors, so that's why I like it.
I understand where you're coming from. And that does make sense to, lock him up before. But, still, I just don't know if it's guaranteed because, spring training is one thing and, having good stats in the minors is another. But there's nothing like when you step into the batter's box, actual Major League pitching, this actually counts and everything. But for the White Sox, his AAV is 7.1 mil.
Right.
So, it doesn't break the bank or anything. But, you could still get a couple pieces together
for that amount of money.
Yeah, but I think what helps though is that they are still in the rebuilding stage. So I kind of see where you're coming from there.
Right. That could swing. It's obviously going to depend on the production he brings, whether he does well or not. But yeah, I'd say that's a risk worth taking.
Yeah,
I can see both sides.
High risk, high reward.
Yep.
Now, high risk, low reward goes with this next signing. Oh my gosh, Gio Gonzalez to the Yankees for a 1-year deal, and I am extremely furious about this one. Honestly, I just don't even know where to begin because we know Severino isn't going to be good for opening day. Right. So I kind of see where they're going. Like, okay, give us a couple games here and there, and then I think Tanaka might be. Is it Tanaka that's injured as well?
Tanaka's back, I think.
There's somebody else in their rotation that was hurt. Anyway, but signing Gonzalez just doesn't really make that much sense for me. The Yankees have money. If you want to go out and get a guy for a year deal, why not get Keuchel for a pillow contract? You know what I mean? Just 1 year.
Yeah, I don't really get that myself. I don't get the Gio Gonzalez signing. I'm still very confused at where he fits in with them, unless they really think Severino's going to be like hurt for an extended period of time. But other than that, I really don't understand that signing.
Yeah.
And they already have J.A. Happ, too.
Right. Gonzalez, he had like a 4.9 ERA and a 1.4 WHIP, and now you take that from Miller Park and you transition that to Yankee Stadium, 81 games out of the year in Yankee Stadium. I know he's not pitching in all 81, but just theoretically speaking,
right, half his
that
games.
WHIP is going to go up and that ERA is going to skyrocket maybe to 6, and I'm not looking forward to that.
No.
And I'm sure the Yankees aren't either.
No. Hopefully, they're expecting him to do a little better. But yeah, I don't know about that signing.
His first start in spring training got absolutely rocked, like 5 runs.
With the Yankees?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Not a way to start off your career
No,
in
it's
the
not. And I
pinstripes.
knew that was exactly what was going to happen. They should have signed Keuchel. I still can't believe Dallas Keuchel hasn't been signed yet, man.
Like no rumblings of
not even the
anyone,
Astros.
Right. I don't even hear like one team that's like even thinking about him right now, unless like an injury just pops up all of a sudden.
Which happened,
right.
but like no, he didn't get signed.
I don't know. That the whole Dallas Keuchel situation is extremely crazy to me. Him and Craig Kimbrell, I'll throw him in there as well, are both. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. They're just like, but they're running out of time. They like have to wait for somebody to get hurt because teams are already like prepared or preparing.
Yeah, they already have their guys named for opening day and stuff.
Right,
but like
it's getting too late at this point.
Yeah, and I feel for Keuchel, not Kimbrell as much because he was asking for way too much money,
right.
But. Still, I mean, I don't even know, man. I mean,
I don't know who Keuchel could go to.
I mean, they were talking about the Astros a couple weeks ago just because he hasn't been talking with anybody. Yeah. But, I mean, how much could it hurt if you just sign him for a 2-year deal for like, maybe 15, 20 mil in that range? It's not going to kill you, and it could still give you some production. So, like those teams that are kind of there.
I was going to say, I think a lot of teams could use that too.
Yeah.
A lot of teams could use him for 2 years.
You know who could really use him, honestly, and who has the money? The Angels.
Absolutely.
I mean, Matt Harvey.
They need starting pitching, too.
Yeah, they need starting pitching.
They have the payroll to do it.
Exactly.
Well, depending on how the Mike Trout situation
works. Hey, we'll talk about that here in just a sec.
But no, that would be a great fit.
Honestly,
great fit.
Because he's already used to the AL West. And, I mean...
I'm not sure why they haven't been in the discussions really at all.
I know
they got Harvey, but Harvey got hurt.
Yeah, we could say that about every single team, I feel like. Like, why have you not gone out and got Keuchel? Unless you're like the Royals, the Orioles, or the Marlins, then yeah.
Right, where you're not going to spend money just to come in last anyway.
Right. Moving on, though, Paul Goldschmidt. We kind of expected this. We talked about this a little bit in our last podcast. As we know, he signed a 1-year deal with the Cardinals, but now he signed a 5-year extension, $130 million. And honestly, I think this is the best move of his career. Kind of going towards the East Coast and staying there. I think the Cardinals are going to be a top NL Central favorite for the next couple years. You got Alex Reyes in the pen, Andrew Miller, Harrison Bader, Matt Carpenter. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is a good team. I think the only hole they're going to have to fill in the next couple of years is going to be catching when Yachty retires.
Yep.
But
yeah, that pains me to say, but I would agree with you 100% on that for sure. Great signing. I mean, top 2 first baseman, maybe the best first baseman in the game. And coming to East Coast where more people can see him now over here. It's pretty exciting. Unfortunately, he's going to be wearing the Cardinals uniform. But no, I definitely agree with you. They're going to be a force in the NL Central for years to come, especially depending on who they get to cover Yachty, but they're looking good. That was a great signing, both ways. Absolutely.
And like you said, though, it does kind of suck he's in the NL Central because I know you're a Reds fan and everything, but like it is, I think it's good for baseball.
No, it is. It'll be cool to see him a lot more too.
Yeah, see him hit home runs. Yeah,
hopefully he doesn't hit too many out, but no, that's a great signing. He's like the next. Basically, after the Pujols era in St. Louis, it's kind of like the Goldschmidt era now, I feel like.
Yeah, and how old is he? Is he like 30?
Goldschmidt, probably a little under 30, if I had to guess.
Under 30? Okay, because I was going to say, because that made sense for Pujols why he signed in the American League, because, he would become a DH later on in his career. But I think Goldschmidt, even at his age compared to Pujols, I think he's still in better shape. I mean, he's fast, too. His defense is...
Goldschmidt is better. 31.
He's 31, so he'll be 37 at the end. I don't think there's any trade clauses or anything with that or any opt-outs.
But yeah, that's a great deal.
So they're expecting
Both
him to
sides.
be their first baseman.
Right. 5
You know.
years.
Yeah, and that'll allow them too to like grow their prospects too and their organization and play
they've got-
behind him.
And they've got some young pitchers too, so they're definitely going to be a force. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
That's another thing to talk about too is their pitching.
Their
Miles
pitching
Mikolas,
is-
Jack Flaherty.
And they
those
just
guys.
signed, Miles Mikolas.
Yep.
This offseason
Yeah,
too.
we talked about that in our last episode. It's going to be a good team. I think
Cardinals are going to be a solid team.
They're going to be solid, definitely. Next, the face of baseball, people could argue.
I'd agree.
Alex Bregman inks a 6-year extension worth $100 million. Absolutely love this deal. What about you?
Absolutely love it as well. Alex Bregman is awesome to watch. With that core in Houston with him, Altuve, and Correa, they've got, World Series capable team every single year, it seems like now. Great for the game, great face of the game. Just a great signing both ways around. He deserves that money for sure.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Alex Bregman has produced, and I think it's the right AAV for him too. For the signing, obviously, he's not like at the top tier
Not
third
top tier,
baseman,
right.
Not with like Machado, Chapman, and
Arenado.
Arenado and Ramirez, but like he's just right under there. So he's on the brink of becoming a superstar. Honestly,
Right. And also 24 years old. So what a deal this early into his career.
yeah, and
mean-
so that was smart because they're going to clear the arbitration.
Seriously.
So he'll just be a free agent
At age 30.
at age 30.
And then probably sign again.
He probably will. He said like
That's
he loves Houston. Absolutely loves Houston.
so that is an awesome deal. Absolutely.
Kind of moving on now to the AL East. Chris Sale signs a 5-year deal worth $145 million. Whew. That was a little pricey in my opinion. What do you think?
That's a lot, but with his production, honestly, all these deals that guys are signing with the extensions kind of taking the pressure out of the free agency period because we've seen how bad that, has been lately. I like that again. With how dominant Chris Sale has been in the regular season, that's hard to, that is a lot of money, $29 million a year. However, Chris Sale is probably worth that, in all honesty. He's your ace, no doubt, number one. Just count on him the whole year.
Yeah, and he wins World Series. And, going to Boston, too, is great for his career, going from the White Sox to the Red Sox. I couldn't agree more with you, though. Justin Verlander, 2 years, $66 million extension with the Astros. Had an amazing year last year.
Wow. Now you want to talk about some serious change.
That is
$33
million
a year
for his age.
He is 36 years old. Now, granted, and I'm usually against that when people are that late into the career.
Unless you're Max Scherzer.
Right, unless you're Max Scherzer and apparently Justin Verlander. Because, with what he did last year, I hate to say it, but, he deserves that too. He has been a monster in the regular season and the playoffs. .9 whip, 2.52 ERA, pitching 34 games last year.
Ooh.
So just pitched every time. You can count him the whole year. He's not going to get hurt. Boom.
Yeah, and he has the defense to back him up, too. And
Yeah.
he still throws a fastball 96, which is insane.
He's a freak.
Yeah, he really is.
But he deserves
He's up there
that
with
and good
Scherzer.
deal. Yeah,
You know what I
him
mean?
and Scherzer are just fierce competitors. You just want them on your team on the mound for you.
Yeah. One pitcher I'm worried about that's kind of getting up there in age is Zach Greinke. I don't know if
He's like 35 or
he's
something
like
now.
35, yeah, but I don't know if he's going to perform like these other guys. He's had a really good year last year, but
Very good year last year.
yeah.
I'm still kind of wondering if he's going to get traded or not still.
He wants to be traded,
He
and he had
does.
like a
I was gonna
list
say,
of
I could-
16 teams he refused to go to.
That's always fun. No, I could see him getting traded, especially if Diamondbacks start off slow. I could see him getting traded this year.
Yeah. Yeah, Diamondbacks are definitely falling slowly.
They're falling in that division.
Yeah, although they signed Adam Jones, but
True,
still, with his
true.
age and everything, his production has fallen too. So
Right. And they lost Pollock and Goldschmidt, who are like
Yeah.
their two key cornerstones
yeah,
last year.
that's brutal. Okay, and our last contract, one of our last contract guys to talk about, Blake Snell, 5 years, $50 million extension with the Rays. Now, a lot of people would say he's worth a lot more than that. And based off of last year alone, yes, you could argue that. But if you look at his career, it was definitely, a breakout year. So you don't want to risk too much money on 1 year on a player, especially in the kind of division the Rays are in. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree 100%. He was in 2016 3.54 ERA, 2017 4.04 ERA, and then obviously 2018 he won the Cy Young with a 1.89 ERA, was absolutely filthy. So I would say that deal's honestly about right, good for both sides. I mean, $10 million a year is not that much if you're getting easily your ace or your number 2 at worst. So good deal, both sides around it. I agree with what you said. Yeah, he hasn't been consistent all the way through, just had that one great year, and he got a payday because of it.
Yeah. How old is he?
He is 26. So
26. So he avoids arbitration too.
Right. And then signed again at 30, 31. So
yeah. For those of you who don't know what arbitration is, it's just like it's a process where if you're under the age of 30 and you're coming up on the end of your contract, or how's that work? You can buy out, you can get out of it or something if you don't agree on a settlement for like how much you want to be paid or something.
So you have to go to a settlement. The player says what they think they should make, which is always higher. Then the team says what the player should make, and they make it, $1 million or $2 million or however much less. Mm-hmm. And they basically go to a judge, and then that judge decides who wins.
Yep.
So they go against each other, which that's why some of the players get frustrated and stuff, because they go to that, and then the teams have to come in there, and the players, talking themselves up like, hey, I did all this, I did this.
Yeah.
The teams come in there and actually kind of rip the player so that they get less money.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of awkward about it. It's like, oh, Mookie, well, you did all this, but you know what? You really haven't been that good the past 5 years combined. So then the players get a little upset, and the judge has to pick one.
Could
so
you
that's
imagine
what kind of sucks about
if
arbitration.
they televised that like Judge Judy?
That would be
if they had
crazy.
Rob Manfred with the hammer.
Just the teams coming in there ripping this player. Like, hey, we want you to sign, but we want you to sign for about $5 million less. So
yeah, honestly, that'd be entertainment.
That would really be.
But I mean, it's
probably not for the players,
right? And it's not just like they decide this on a day. It's a process,
right?
So, unless you want to watch a marathon, you have nothing to do for 2 weeks. Go ahead,
right? But no, I would agree with that. I can't blame the players or the teams for just basically taking arbitration out of the deal and just locking them up. Especially with the free agency that we have seen.
Right. Okay. And the biggest contract to talk about in the offseason, the best player of our generation, people say he's the new Mickey Mantle, Michael Trout, center fielder for the Los Angeles Angels. Kind of shocked by it. Not by the value, but what team he chose and how long. 12 years, $430 million. Wow. I mean, wow.
He's worth it. The selfish part of me just wants to say, unfortunately, he's staying on the West Coast. But, man, does he deserve that money.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's definitely the best player.
Think about this, though. Think about this. When Bryce signed, he's like,
oh, yeah.
I want to wait till Machado signs. I want to be the highest paid player.
And it was
Mike Trout says, hold my beer.
Yep. It was about 2 weeks before that Bryce held that. And then Trout took him over, and by a long shot.
$100 million more for a year less.
Right.
But Mike Trout. Sorry, when I get my feelings, I say full names. So when Mike Trout signed, obviously, he's put up the numbers every year.
Every year.
Bryce Harper, yes, he gets like 100 some RBIs a year and whatever. Mike Trout hits 300 every year.
Every year.
300, 30, and 100 pretty much.
If anybody argues that, and first of all, let's get this straight. I like Bryce Harper probably more than most people, but if anybody argued that Bryce deserves more than Mike Trout, there's no arguing with that person then, because that just makes no logical sense.
It doesn't.
Mike Trout is so much better than Bryce in probably every single category, besides, I would say...
being on a winning team.
Well, that, and then I would just say, like, his attitude or outgoingness, whatever you want to call it, extrovertedness is not as much
he's kind of introverted
as Mike Trout, but that's who he is. Like, he signed the deal Tuesday at 10 a.m. with the Los Angeles Angels. Like, that's exactly who Mike Trout is. Bryce wants the big show like LeBron and everything about that. Mike Trout isn't like that, which is kind of cool, honestly, but that's just who he is.
It is. And, that could be a reason why maybe he wanted to stay in L.A. and
Right.
not go to
He didn't-
Philly.
or-
Because he didn't
yeah.
want that attention. You know
He
what I
didn't
mean?
want the big bright lights in New York or anything like that.
Or, he's just comfortable where he is.
Right. I mean, I can't blame him in California.
I know, but it kind of shocks me because, like, you just got to think a guy like that, maybe does he want to win a championship? They
Right.
made the playoffs one time since he's been there, and they didn't win, like, the series. They haven't won a playoff series.
Right. That's what's shocking to me. I wonder what, like, in that meeting, what else he said was, like, what are you guys going to build around? Because obviously he's getting paid a ton. So it's like,
Yeah, that's
what else
the
are you
tricky
guys?
thing.
What else are you guys going to build around me? Are we going to get starting pitching anytime soon? Poole's contract, thankfully, is probably coming off the books here at some point soon. They probably can't wait for that one. But then, I mean, Shohei is going to be good, but he's injured. Where does that leave? How does that leave the rest of the money for them to sign other free agents and other guys to come there so he can win a championship?
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing about the Angels, though, is that they probably do have a lot of money just because of all the merchandise they can sell with Trout
Right.
and market him out there on the West Coast. And obviously, prices are higher out there,
Right.
So,
I mean, I hope they do because I would love to see Trout in the playoffs. That would be awesome.
yeah. I mean, the man deserves it.
Yeah, and it'd be good for baseball as well.
It'd be so
You
good
want your
for
best
baseball.
player in the playoffs.
As much as
At
I would
least-
hate to say it, just because my favorite team's in that division, I would
Right.
love to see the Angels, honestly, get to a World Series. I would absolutely root for them.
Yeah,
100%.
I would just love to watch Mike Trout in the playoffs. That would just be insane. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, he said, Bryce, hold my beer. Watch this. I just think that's hilarious. I mean, Bryce,
Poor Bryce, he held it for about 2 weeks.
yeah. He had it for about 2 weeks, yeah. But he's actually done well with Philadelphia in spring training. He just smashed 2 home runs. I know he had that scary incident where he had
That foul or that
a
hit by pitch.
off his foot, but, I mean, he was fine.
Yeah.
So, but
You think he's gonna have a huge year or no?
No, I really
No,
don't.
I
I
don't
think
think-
he's going to
I think
get a
he'll
lot
do
of RBIs.
I think he'll do well, but I don't think he's gonna have like a wow, that was a monster year. Like I think Trout will have
too
a
much
better
pressure.
year.
Too much pressure.
Yeah, I agree. Granted, he does have a good lineup around him, so I agree with you on like the RBIs and stuff. Like his team is good,
But I think that puts even more pressure on him because then
Right.
he really has to perform.
right? If he's not matching up with Reese Hoskins and Herrera and all those guys, McCutch.
Do you remember when the Yankees got Stanton, or they signed Stanton?
Yep.
He struck out 3 times in his debut, and everyone booed him.
Yep,
It's
right
like-
away.
It's like, okay,
like,
how about
okay,
you step in the batter's box and
Right.
face 95?
And it's one game, and
Yeah.
he strikes out a lot regardless. So it's not like shocking.
Yeah, and that was one thing dude, that infuriated me. I was, on the Athletics Twitter feed, obviously, because you're going to see fans that are like, oh my gosh, this team is awful. Get it together. This is horrendous. It's like, okay, bud.
Right, it's like it's 2 games.
It's 2 games.
Very long. It's not
Yeah.
the NFL. You're not like
Yeah.
already out of the playoffs. There's 162 games for a reason.
Exactly. And then
Now once you start off like 0-20 or something like that,
the
like
first 20 games
right,
really matters.
then it's
yeah.
like okay, it's actually time to get serious. Now we might be
Yeah.
in trouble. But the first 2 to 5 to 6 to 10, you're all right.
Right, and I think when it comes to those divisions too, like the first 15 to 20 games, that's really going to solidify, how are they early in the season, because teams can get better or they can get worse towards the end of the season with what they have in the minors.
Right, I agree.
So, I mean, teams like the Reds, obviously, if they get better, they can get hot. They have the prospects they can call up, So it just depends. But kind of talking about everything, kind of want to transition over to injuries, injury updates. Corey Seager, obviously, he had Tommy John, and that was last year. And he said he's
back.
good to go for opening day.
That's good to see.
That's good for the Dodgers.
Young
So-
shortstop back in the game. He's awesome to watch too. That's very good news for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and honestly, the kind of player he is, I think he'll be able to pick it right back up.
I do too. I think he'll have a good year.
Because he hasn't taken any at-bats, though, in spring training or anything, but that's the kind of guy you just know.
Yep, he's just a baseball player.
Yeah. Yu Darvish. That's a guy who's always been on the, as they call it now, the injured list. I'll always call it the DL.
It is the DL.
But he said, he's going to be ready for opening day, so that's, good for Cubs fans.
I think Yu Darvish could actually have a bounce back year. I'm
He
not gonna
needs
lie
to.
to
He
you.
needs to.
I really think he could. Well, yeah, with the contract he's on too. The
Yeah.
Cubs need him too.
Absolutely.
But I think he could. I mean, if he stays healthy, obviously. But if he does, I think he will actually bounce back.
I think he'll get traded if he doesn't, even if
Really?
like he's healthy or not healthy.
Cubs are
If he doesn't live up to the
Send him.
contract by July,
he's gone.
he's gone. Another guy, unfortunately, Scooter Gennett.
Big loss.
Yep. What is it? Out to
Unfortunately.
6 to 8 weeks. Out 6 to 8 weeks.
I saw 8 to 12. It's like
Oh, that's right.
2 months.
It got
yeah.
updated. 8 to 12.
Unfortunately, too, because he's just had
Groin injury.
2 massive years. Awesome player, awesome hitter, just a pure hitter.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate for the Reds and very unfortunate for Scooter.
Yep. Staying with the Reds too. Another player that was mentioned was Sonny Gray because we know that he had some elbow problems in spring training. So it's answered though. He will be good to go. He's going to be pitching Saturday, March 30th versus the Pirates.
That's good news. I expect big things out of Sonny Gray. Big things.
Yep. For Cleveland, they have 3 injuries that are kind of questionable, but honestly, they're in the division where they should be okay.
Yeah, that's the division.
They got Danny Salazar, who's likely to return mid-May.
Always hurt.
He's always hurt. Jason Kipnis with a calf injury, April possibly. And then obviously you got Francisco Lindor, which is probably going to be mid-April. So you're probably going to be out about 2 weeks or so, 2 to 3 weeks. And like we said, those first 15 games really matter.
Very important.
You know, you got teams like the Twins who went out and made some power moves. So you just never know. But I think the Indians will still be okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they'll be okay. Just don't let the Twins get out to 2 out of a start. I can't see any other team really doing that well without them. And even if they did get them back mid to late April, I still agree with you. I think the Indians will be okay.
And especially with Detroit losing Michael Fulmer, who's getting Tommy
Big
John. That is big time.
That's unfortunate for what was going to be a bad team. That's now going to be a horrific team. That's unfortunately
2 of the worst teams in baseball are going to be in that division.
And I was going to say with the other thing on the Cleveland, what also is going to help them just stay above those injuries, why they can kind of, they're all right with losing, not never all right with losing those guys, but kind of they'll be okay, is that their starting pitching is awesome. Still.
Yeah.
I mean, Carrasco, Kluber, Bauer, pretty top-notch top 3. But no, I agree with you. Those other teams in the AL Central, wow. Tigers are going to be brutal.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny. I actually just saw this today on Roto World. Trevor Bauer refuses to talk to the media after Corey Kluber is named opening day starter.
It was fake, though. Like, somebody said he was, like, mad about it, but then he came back and he's like, yeah, I wasn't mad about it at all.
Dude, I love Trevor Bauer.
I do, too. The media loves
Big personality
ripping him.
guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He is awesome.
He's awesome.
The media loves ripping him, and then he just rips him right back. It's hilarious.
That's what I love. I remember when he was something about drones last year, and he was like had a middle finger up in the picture.
He got cut. Like, he was pitching in the playoffs, and he actually had to miss his start, I believe, because he got cut up by a drone. And then some fan, like, sent him a new drone. And Bauer was just like, he just loves messing with people and loves messing with the media. I love it.
He's hilarious.
And a very good pitcher, by the way.
Honestly. Wow. Folks, obviously, you know, opening day is coming this week, but it's also March Madness, and we have it up on the TV. We don't have spring training up. We have March Madness just for today, and we're watching the Tennessee-Iowa game right now, and Iowa was literally down 20 points, and now they're within 1 to Tennessee, who had a monster year.
What a game.
Yeah.
What a game. This is March.
Wow. Yeah, I can't believe they came back. That's insane. They were literally down 20, like 20 minutes, like not even 20 minutes ago when we were talking.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing some upsets today because yesterday there were like no upsets at all.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to baseball, the Astros, Lance McCullers, that's a huge loss.
Tommy John, right?
Yeah, Tommy John. And that's
Ouch.
another thing, too. Like, okay, well, why not get Dallas Keuchel again?
Right, if he's gone for the year.
Yep. And then Colin McHugh, he's day-to-day, another starting pitcher. So
That's one I would keep my eye on, too, just because I remember him from last year. He was a reliever last year.
Yeah.
Trying to be stretched out to a starter, he has the potential to get injured doing that.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'd keep my eye on that one.
And
he was awesome last year, by the way.
Yeah,
like
he
under
was.
one whip.
Yeah. Astros, you got Salvador Perez, obviously. He's out for the year.
Royals.
Says yeah, for the Royals. Did I say Astros?
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Royals, yeah, that's...
They say he's on the 60-day DL, but we know he's out for the year with the signing of Martín Maldonado to help them out.
So how about these two? Let me give you 2 teams and then 2 injuries. Royals and Perez and Tigers and Fulmer. Ouch.
Yeah.
I mean, those
Those
two
are
teams
two
were
star
already going to
players.
be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, those are. I feel bad for Tigers and Royals fans this year because that's going to be a long year.
See, that helps. That helps the White Sox,
It
and it
does,
helps
and
the
the
Twins
Twins,
out. But then
right.
you also have to think, well, the Indians still play them
Indians,
too.
Right.
But still,
I mean, hopefully the Twins and the White Sox can be competitive with the Indians. But yeah, those bottom two, wow, they could be really bad.
yeah. So like when you play those teams, when you play the Tigers, when you play the Royals,
Better get
you
your
have to
wins.
win those games.
Yep. Can't lose those ones.
And the great
And
thing is-
especially the series.
Yeah, in baseball, anything can happen. So, I think the Twins, the Indians, and the White Sox, whoever has the best record against those other two teams in the division,
Bottom two
will
teams.
probably be up top. Honestly,
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
So-
you got it. You got to win the games you easily can,
yep.
or you easily should, I should say.
The Dodgers going to the NL. Rich Hill, mid-April. I've never been sold on him. He's got a knee injury
And older.
and older. Max Muncy, though, who had the best year of his career, he's going to be playing first base probably this year. He's ready for opening day, so that's good. And obviously, we already talked about Corey Seager. And then your boy, Clayton Kershaw, always injured.
He is getting hurt a lot lately.
But-
unfortunately for MLB, because he's one of the best pitchers in the game. But yeah, he's starting.
Yeah.
His back is always messing up on him.
Yep.
But he should be back soon, though. I
Yeah,
think.
it's like
He's,
early to
throwing.
mid-April. He
Yeah.
should be okay. Then you got the Angels and Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, he's not going to be throwing this
Pitching,
year.
just hitting.
He's been tossing a little bit, very light, but he'll probably DH this year in about early May. So that's
Still.
something to look out for.
Yep. Still, they definitely will still use his bat. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And for the Twins, this is another team. You know, they got Nelson Cruz. They got some other good players. I really like Max Kepler a lot.
I do too. He's got a lot of potential.
Yep. Miguel Sano, he's injured. He won't be back until May, possibly.
I'm
But
not. I'm
he
still
wasn't-
not.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him.
I am
so
not sure how I feel about Miguel Sano. He was like that breakout, insanely stud, and now it's just like I'm not sure he's ever going to really pan out.
Yep. Exactly. And then my Oakland A's, Matt Olson, out indefinitely. Just had hand surgery
Big
to remove
loss.
a bone. That
How
really
many?
sucks.
How many weeks is that?
He's out indefinitely, so it's going to
Till
be
he
a
comes
while.
back, yeah.
I think it's going
That's
to be
unfortunate.
mid-season. That really sucks. And obviously, already losing Sean Manaea for the year.
Hurts big time.
That's-
That's the biggest one of all. Is Sean
Yeah.
Manaea. I mean, that's the ace.
Yep,
Whenever you lose your ace, that's never a good sign.
exactly. So,
But hopefully he comes back strong because he is very good on the mound.
yep. So let's go ahead and jump over to obviously our favorite segment, which is the start one, cut one, bench one. It's always our ending segment here on the Season 6 podcast. Be sure to follow us, by the way, on social media at Season 6 on Twitter and at Season 6 on Facebook. We'll leave a link to our Discord channel in the description, and we post on YouTube, and we're now on Apple Music. We're on podcast now, so that's pretty hype. So yeah, but let's go ahead and do our start one, cut one, bench one. I'll give you yours first, okay?
Alrighty.
So when we do this, we have to answer, obviously who would we start, cut, and bench, but also the reasons why. So first player, we're gonna go with third baseman today.
Okay.
You got Alex Bregman,
Okay.
Jose Ramirez,
Oh. Okay.
and Chris Bryant. And this is all of right now. Like if you were to start them, cut them, bench them right now.
That is tough. I am going to cut Chris Bryant. The guy's very good, huge. I'm not. I think he is going to have a good year. I'm still not completely sold on that he's just absolutely outstanding, great, like MVP type as some other people are. So I'm going to go ahead and cut Bryant. And this is obviously very tough. These are three stud third basemen.
Yeah.
I will start Bregman, actually. Just love the way he plays the game, like I said. Face at MLB, loves interacting with the people. Just solid all the way around and clutch, but that's very tough. And then I want Jose Ramirez off my bench to pinch hit. Honestly, the best hitter of all three of these guys, so some people are probably thinking I'm stupid for not starting him. But Jose Ramirez, I definitely want on my team because that dude just is a straight hitter. One of the best hitters in the game.
Yeah. I'll agree with you, actually.
Really?
I have the exact same. My reasons are pretty much the same. I'm going to cut Chris Bryant. Dude's injury prone. He's been injured quite a bit the past couple of years. Had a breakout year in 2015 when he came up. We all know he was the big talk of the town. Jose Ramirez, I'm going to bench him. His OBP is incredible. So, having him come off the bench in the 8th or ninth inning to pinch hit, I mean, that's going to be awesome because he's most likely going to get on base.
Yep.
And obviously, like you said, he is the best hitting third baseman of these three.
No doubt.
But defensively now, that's where I start Alex Bregman.
Right.
Because he still gets those numbers around, 270, 280.
And probably a little faster, I would say.
Yeah, a little bit faster too, more agile. And, he still hits for power and everything. So that is, I agree with you. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, I've got some outfielders for you.
Okay.
We've got Marcell Ozuna. We've got Yasiel Puig. And we've got Lorenzo Cain. Kind of three, I kind of tried to get similar a little bit, kind of like you did with the third baseman. I tried to get as similar as possible. It kind of
not like
hard.
Top tier,
right?
But like right on
next
tier.
tier.
Yeah.
It's not the Trouts and the.
I love the way Marcell Ozuna plays. He's got a great arm, good bat. He's a little injury prone there, so I might have to cut him, unfortunately. Starting, I'm gonna go with Lorenzo Cain, actually. Outfielder for the Brewers. Had a breakout year, leaving the Royals and everything like that. Dude's fast. He's got an arm. Gets on base.
Has no weakness.
No, he really doesn't. And I'm hoping he will have the same year this year as he did last year. And then I'm going to have Puig come off the bench just because of the power and everything like that. With his age, he's still pretty elite, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go with that, yeah.
Fair enough. I'm going to agree with you on, have a little bit different, but I'll agree with you on the cutting Ozuna. Can straight mash, but I do think he's a little injury prone, so therefore I'm going to cut him. I will start the other two. It's very hard. I'll start Puig just because of the energy he brings into the game, just ready to pop off at any time. And then I'll bench Cain. But between those two, it's very hard pickings for me because Cain, like I said, he has absolutely no weakness.
Right.
So I could go either way on that one, but I guess I'll start Puig just for the energy factor.
Okay. Cool. Well, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Oh, gosh, I can't even talk. Oh, my gosh. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in to our episode of Seeds and Stix. Tune in next week as we'll have full details.
All the MLB games.
Yep. Probably about 2 or 3 days worth before we record. But we'll have opening day covered for you. And be sure to follow us on social media. So, all right. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you all. See you later.